This is the Uncensored Man Radio Show. This show contains adult language and content. Listener discretion is advised.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Happy
You're
fucking
live.
Friday. Happy August 1st.
Now it's the first day of August. Hell yeah.
Last night I was in bed and I'm echoing, by the way. I do not know why I'm going through your microphone.
Really? How
Yeah.
about now? The music's
No.
over. Is it echoey?
No, now it's good.
Interesting.
I had a few beverages last night and got into bed, and I had this chick I'm seeing come over, and I decided, you know what? I had a few beverages. I'm going to order fucking DoorDash. So I ordered some DoorDash, McDonald's, naturally. They didn't put any salt on the fucking fries. So what did I do? Went into my cabinet, half drunk, pulled out the iodized salt, bathed the motherfuckers in salt, put it back in the bag, brought it into the bedroom, because that's where I put a TV now. So me and her could just watch TV. I hand this bitch the bag. She spills all the salt all over my motherfucking bed. And this is the day after the cleaning lady cleaned everything.
Oh man. Damn.
So I woke up in a pile of salt this morning.
Wow, dude.
Felt amazing.
Well, as long as you're happy about it now, that's the best thing.
I think if I stopped ordering DoorDash, their fucking stock price would crash, bro. My ex-girlfriend used to make fun of me for that. She'd be like, tell me when you delete DoorDash or Uber Eats so I can divest my stock holdings. Used to order that shit all the time. Still order it a lot.
I do it a little bit sometimes. They'll even deliver out here in the country.
Yeah, that's why I do it. Waste the fucking money, though.
Yeah.
That's why you need to get a Latina that cooks at home. Enough of this DoorDash shit.
Yeah, it's a waste. I see a lot of people doing it, though. I mean, everybody's doing it. Honestly, I cannot believe what a phenomenon that has become.
There again is another app idea that I should have came up with. I feel like once it came out, everybody had that thought, a delivery app.
Right?
That's universal and not tied to just a single restaurant. Which motherfucker thought of that? Should be so simple and easy to think of.
Fuck, it's pretty genius, man.
It is.
It's pretty
Definitely
funny.
is. Man, that was so fucking annoying. Bitch spilled all the fucking French fries, all this salt, all over the bed. Oh my gosh, bro.
Is she Latina?
She's Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, don't worry. I slapped her around pretty good for it. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding.
Fucking hilarious, man.
So what else is going on today?
Fuck, not much.
It's
Not much.
crazy. It's crazy how the news is so resigned to the fact that they're irrelevant and they keep getting scooped by like just Twitter and shit.
Right? They keep getting scooped by Twitter every day. Like there's a new.
Yeah, they've just become
now
like
Japan. It's X is number one in the the news app.
they've
for
just
Japan.
become like irrelevant. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
But also good, you know.
it is
So
good.
this ad thing, I guess they're releasing a lot of white people ads towards the end of the summer. Dunkin' Donuts and then some other place, I forgot. But I said, it'll get popular. The pro-white stuff is in. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. They're tired of being persecuted. That's all it is. People are just fucking tired of being persecuted.
Tired of everything being fake and gay and lame.
Yeah. Like, stop attacking me. I didn't fucking do anything to you, and just look at my intentions, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's on a witch hunt for, like, they'll witch hunt people that aren't doing anything wrong. That's the thing, It's just stupid.
I hear you. What the fuck is that? Your vape pen?
That could have been the jewel.
Oh.
You heard that?
Yeah.
I just spit out my coffee.
Gabe Newell says young people need to use AI tools to get off to the races rather than reading articles on Variety to understand what its impact is going to be. So Gabe Newell is the CEO of Valve Software.
Of Valve Software?
Old man. Yeah. So this AI shit is very important to learn. That makes sense. We don't really have AI.
Use it.
We have language learning models, but I still would like someone to explain the difference between that and AI to me.
Yeah. It's got a language model built into it. It's basically what it is.
Yeah. But it's not AI in the sense that it has certain cognitive abilities, I suppose. El Salvador approves indefinite presidential re-election.
Indefinite?
Yeah. So this guy, Bukele, who took over in El Salvador, is going to be able to run again.
Wow. Indefinite.
El Salvador used to be one of the most unsafe places in Latin America. Now it's the safest because he just put everybody in prison.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Putting criminals in prison. Putting all the criminals in prison makes society better. Who'd have thunk that?
Imagine that.
And he's very high approval rating. So people say he's a dictator, and that's their big criticism. Like I think I told you maybe a couple weeks ago when I was in El Salvador and like going on dates and stuff, like the chicks would be like, I don't like Bukele. And I'm like, why? Your country used to be a like third world shithole. Now it's like a first world, like paradise, heaven, like very low crime. They're like, well, he's a dictator.
Well, he's a dictator. They sound
like, wow, bitch, have more sophisticated thinking. Women ruin everything. Women ruin everything. That's the problem with letting them get into politics is they just end up bringing their stupid emotions with them.
Yeah.
So, but El Salvador is a beautiful country. He cleaned it up by essentially getting rid of due process and just throwing people in a can. And that's the thing that sucks for leftists is that like right-wing fascist governments are typically historically very, very popular. Like they're just historically very popular.
Really?
Yes, really. And that's a problem.
I'd probably go to El Salvador. It sounds like a safe place now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Cheap. Or I should say not cheap in the bad sense. Not very expensive.
Yeah. The American dollar goes a long ways there.
Yep.
Or quite a ways.
Yep.
Didn't we ship a bunch of prisoners back to El Salvador? Wasn't that kind of a big thing? Big issue?
Yeah, because yes, some of them weren't even from El Salvador, and they got put in that mega prison, and then
Yeah.
all the human rights groups were up in arms. I don't know what the status of that was, if they were released or what. I mean, Trump seems to go back on a lot of the things that get started. I guess he lifted the tariffs. Did you hear that?
Well, I just saw something here
Last
about
minute tariffs on Mexico. So he pushed out on the Mexico tariffs, which I'm happy about. I'm glad about. I think that's a good thing.
Okay, I didn't see that.
You know,
I see that he put in, well, he's supporting a full ban on congressional stock trades.
yeah, can you believe that shit? That shit in 2025 is still allowed? I think I told you yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, they make 250 grand a year in
Nancy
Congress.
Pelosi, just in. Nancy Pelosi 2024 stock portfolio grew 70%, and she's already a mega rich.
So the way that works is, they are in charge of overseeing a lot of those industries. So they have insider information. So they use that information. In the case of Pelosi, not directly, but she talks to her husband, Paul Pelosi, the guy who had the gay prostitute. He paid the gay prostitute to beat him up a couple years back. Remember that?
Yeah.
Where there was supposedly a break-in, but it was really just her
Wasn't there
husband.
a hammer involved? And
yeah, it was really her husband paid some pervert to come beat him up. Anyway, that's what it looked like. I don't know. Allegedly, that's what it looked like.
allegedly.
But he's a big, stock guy. So what she'd do is get insider information and use that to enrich herself. It's just blatant, open corruption, and both sides do it. So yeah, that's why you see them come out against it almost universally. You're going to see that. You saw that with Epstein. The Democrats didn't want the Epstein stuff released, or at least the key ones.
Yeah, how come it's a big deal now? Why wasn't this a big deal?
They're all in it because they're all in it.
Well, they all want to cook Trump like it just has something to do with him. Whatever. This shit just fucking pisses me off. Okay, now that Trump's in, now you're making a big fucking deal about this shit? Why wasn't this a big fucking deal back then?
Oh, the Epstein stuff has always been a big deal.
Well, it has, but
Trump isn't releasing it because he's corrupt and he's in the files along with all the Democrats.
Well, yeah, obviously he's in there.
So, but yeah, bitch spilled all the salt all over my fucking bed. I was furious. I wasn't that mad. I was too drunk to be really that mad.
Well, was she drunk?
Nope. Not at all. That's a funny thing.
This is
Don't
what I
eat in bed. Eating in bed is gross, man.
Well, sometimes you gotta, if you've been drinking, you gotta have a little snack.
I don't think people should eat in bed. You should really just do two things in bed: just sleep and fuck. And if you can't do either, you need to get out of bed.
They say you shouldn't watch TV in bed.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't even have a TV in your bedroom.
Aren't you a doctor?
Yeah. You shouldn't do that.
Oh, but you have a TV in there.
I do. That's a very recent addition within the last 2 weeks or so.
I see. That's all right.
Because I have kids here, so sometimes I have visitors after my kids are asleep. My kids are old enough to the point where, I can sneak guests in late at night. But we have to have something to do, so hence the TV. But no, I don't prefer having a TV in my room.
Right.
And it is bad for you, for sure. It's way better to have a pitch black, dark bedroom. And if you can't sleep, have you heard that advice before? If you're struggling, rolling back and forth, can't fall asleep, the key advice is to just get out of bed and don't try to lay there. Have you ever heard that before?
No.
Yeah.
But I have tried that. Sometimes you just got to get up.
So it's really important to do that because then your brain associates your bed with sleep. and not with laying on your back looking at stupid TikTok reels. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing. That's like what I'm the worst at doing is sitting there
The
watching.
worst thing for you to do if you want to be a productive man is set an alarm, wake up, have the first thing you do is look at your phone for a half hour. Reels, Facebook, stupid low IQ TikTok. If you want to destroy your attention span and ability to focus and be productive the rest of the day, just do it all in the first 30 minutes after you wake up by staring at your stupid fucking phone. What you should do is go outside, like I'm doing right now.
Oh.
Right now, I'm outside. I don't have glasses on. I don't have contacts in. My bare feet are in the grass, and I'm just standing under the sun. I'm exposing my naked eye to the sun, exposing my skin to the sun.
You can see the sun?
Yeah.
Nice.
Whether you can see it or not is irrelevant, actually. Just exposing yourself to early morning sunlight's just really important for your health and your circadian rhythm. That's what people should do.
I want to start trying to do that more.
That's what people should do instead of the doom scrolling.
So with the doc, you heard it from the doc. As a man, you should not look at your fucking screens for 30 minutes, like right when you wake up, which is what everybody's doing. I know you are. You're just like me. You're grabbing your phone.
Fuck, even I do it sometimes. But you know, it's something you got to resist, because if you're using an alarm, I mean, obviously it's going to be tempting to not look at your phone, right?
Right?
You just got to have discipline for that shit.
Justin, Brown University banned from trans procedures. Trump administration halts puberty blockers, gender surgeries, and racial quotas at Brown.
Spaced.
Yes.
What probably happened is he pulled all the federal funding associated with it, because I don't think he has the authority to just stop it.
Right. This is just in about tariffs. Executive order incoming tonight. Levitt confirms Trump will sign a sweeping executive order imposing tariffs on nations without deals. Over 200 countries contacted. Those without deals will get a letter or EO by midnight, 7/14.
The tariff stuff to me is just stupid, because we're the ones paying for them. And apparently it's driving inflation higher. I just think it's very stupid. And it's very up and down all over the place too. I mean, this guy changes his mind. Who the fuck gave the president the unilateral authority to tariff other countries? That was a terrible idea. Economic policies like that should be under the purview of Congress, not, whichever.
What it makes it sound like is it sounds like we're making them pay. You know what I mean? But if we're
so the tariffs make us pay to import. So if you put a tariff on India, then American consumers pay extra to import Indian goods.
Correct.
So it's a tax on the consumer.
Correct.
Designed to make those products less desirable compared to, say, American products or products from nations in which we have more favorable tariff rates or whatever.
I mean, I'd be in favor of a reverse tariff. I mean, if we were actually charging those countries instead of charging our own people.
You know what I think more generally, though, is we just have too many fucking taxes. Yeah. We have to pay income taxes. We have high sales tax, at least in this state. The property taxes, are fucking out of control. We're way overtaxed. We're way overtaxed as it is.
Our money's going out the window. Like, it's just.
Well, they're not. They're not exactly spending it wisely, would you say?
No, it's out of control, man. I mean, it's just, oh man, we're cooked on that deal. I mean, it's just like when you've gone and you've lived a lavish lifestyle for too long, and you're not like using your money wisely. Yeah, it's just too far gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Sorry, I just had a brain, basically brain aneurysm.
Yeah. I woke up with one.
Where do we want to go? Culture or politics?
Well, I mean, you're kind of like the politics guy. I'm more of like the.
No. I mean, just give me a simple answer, and I'll bring up a topic related to your answer.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So culture or politics?
you kind of cut out for a minute there. What was the question?
I said, what do you want to talk about? Culture or politics? Culture?
More about culture. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I don't mind a little politics, but yeah, culture.
All right. The sluttiest, sexiest thing a man can do is decisively reject right-wing and manosphere red pill ideology in favor of empathy, kindness, and moral conviction. What do you think about that?
What the fuck? That was a mouthful.
This is the Foyd talking points for August 1st. The
Foyd?
sluttiest, sexy. It comes from a woman, so it needn't make sense. But I'll read it
I was
again.
gonna say, I was like, it sounds kind of gay, but
I'll read it again. The sluttiest, sexiest thing a man can do is decisively reject right-wing and manosphere red pill ideology in favor of empathy, kindness, and moral conviction.
fuck, that sounds so stupid.
So I guess the attack on the red pill as of late is that it's disempathic. Is that it's this is the latest talking point, that the red pill is bad because it is like it's narcissistic. So it teaches men how to manipulate women.
Well,
So instead of being something that teaches men how modern women behave, it instead teaches men how to manipulate, control, and abuse. What do you think about that?
well, I am thinking about it. I mean, I've tried both ways, being just empathic and kind, and like that shit doesn't get you anywhere. They don't fucking, they just treat you like you're a fucking retard if you're gonna talk to people like that. So,
Women don't like empathy, huh?
no, they don't like that. They just, I mean, it seems like when you act more red pill, like fucking women like that better. I mean, you'd think that you're gonna piss them off, but somehow they end up laughing and having a great time, and they like you more. And it doesn't mean you can't be kind. And what is that?
Empathic, yeah.
Show empathy. Those things. You don't have to be a real asshole. You can just be kind of an asshole.
I think it's funny how so many women on social media use these female terms directed at men. Like they'll call men slutty or say that men are run through. It's just weird. It's like the you know what it reminds me of? It's like the reverse of what happened in the last decade when they did social psychology studies where they asked women to describe themselves. So they did this study where they got a bunch of college age women together and asked them to describe themselves, like pick adjectives that would describe themselves. So like back in the 60s and 70s, women would pick like empathic, sensitive, kind, effeminate, like compliant, or I don't know if compliant was one of them, but
Wow.
they're all like traditionally feminine attributes.
Hmm.
And then in the last decade or so, now increasingly, almost universally, college age women describe themselves as aggressive, confrontational, ambitious, things that are more classically male
Sounds about right.
adjectives. So this is why social commentators and psychologists like Professor Sam Vaknin have said that women have become men in the Western world. They describe themselves like men. They act like men. They certainly do act like men. I think there's no question about that. Young women, especially. but they also describe themselves that way. That's how they perceive themselves. So when I see on social media women calling guys sluts and stuff, it's like it's just interesting how they invert the language and apply it to us in weaponized fashion. And so that's one of the big problems today, is because we have this gender war, but we have both sexes trying to be one gender.
It's wild.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing that's funny about it, is
Everybody
apparently what I'm told by the university, mentally ill university people, is that we have 100,000s of different genders. What in reality, we really just have two sexes trying to be one gender.
Everybody wants to be the man, Doc.
Everybody wants to have the power and everybody wants to have the power and the privileges, but women in particular don't want the responsibilities.
Yeah.
So,
right. Or they bitch about it, like, I don't want to be.
But if you think about that, like, why are American women so intimidating to young men? It's because they're basically like other men.
Gross.
Like, just in their demeanor and their behavior, how they react to you. That's why when you approach some women, they get aggressive. Like, approaching a woman can sometimes feel like approaching a man, because a man will react like, "What the fuck are you talking to me for?" And women are like that too. It's like it's like perceived as an act of aggression. Whereas with truly feminine women, it's flattering.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up and talk to girls in Latin America, and they don't
You still have a little
react badly. I would say even women in America
like
mostly don't react badly.
You're cutting out. You're cutting out on us.
I
think a lot of these women that are masculine, though, they still have their feminine nature. They can't get rid of it. They might act like men, but there's still a part of them that responds. The masculine in men.
You mean on the subconscious level?
Yes.
So what you're saying is they can't help be attracted to what they're attracted to?
Correct. Because there's
I definitely agree with that. That's why there's a huge gap between women's expressed preferences and what their
That's why you
demonstrated preferences
to hook up with these liberal feminist type women.
That's why it's easy to?
Well, you would think those would be the ones, because those are the ones that are like the most masculine, right? Liberal feminist types, they're not feminine at all. They're just...
Well, the thing about feminist women, especially the ultra feminists, they're usually promiscuous. So they are easy to hook up with if you even want to. I don't know why anyone would want to.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to either.
Desperation. No, I said why you would want to.
I
know.
I don't hook up with feminists.
Yeah, they're all feminists, though.
I know they are, aren't they? Maybe I said that wrong. Maybe I do.
We're all dealing with it one way or the other.
Right? Yeah, we are.
You ever seen that 4chan meme? That's like, the chick is like, "Hey, did you read the Salon article I sent?" And it's like some hairy dude with like a frown on his face, white guy, and his shirt says "the most racist man alive." And at the top it says "every heterosexual couple."
What?
Yeah.
No, I did not see that. That's funny.
It's an old one. Oh, that's fucking funny.
That's fucking funny.
Male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, male
loneliness epidemic.
What are the stats on that? Male versus female loneliness. Is it just as bad maybe for the females too? Quite possibly.
No, it's not just as bad, because women have more friend networks. And they also, a lot of women, they have guys, but those guys are usually seeing like 3 or 4 other chicks. So there's less men dating, but I mean, that's honestly, more and more, it's just people are lonely. Like that's the other thing. A lot of women are becoming increasingly celibate too, which is an underappreciated phenomenon because everybody thinks they're just sluts. That's the other major cultural thing I'm going to predict is the promiscuity is going to go down in the next decade significantly as the social mores changes and goes back in time to a place that like heavily demonized and criticized slut behavior.
Right. That's not terrible. I mean,
so, but it's going to be a weird situation because we're still going to be a heavily pornographied society, but women are going to be, men and women are going to be less promiscuous, I think.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but it's going to just lead to more isolation, I think.
You think?
Unintentionally. Yeah, because, even though the lower promiscuity makes men more attracted to women, women still are not attracted to men in America. They just find so few men attractive. So that's the, as we would call it in biochemistry, the rate limiting step. So the thing is, you can't fix the fact that men and women hate each other by making women more attractive because that's never been the bottleneck. I mean, look at American women. A lot of them are overweight, fat as hell. So are American men. I mean, it's definitely, we have a metabolic disease problem in this country.
Yeah.
So my point is not to single out women because men are even worse when it comes to that. But you think about it, it's not like we have the most attractive women in the world.
No.
Okay, but even so, men would still. It's the attractiveness part on the side of men isn't the issue. It's the side of women. How do you fix that most men are just not attractive to other men or to to women?
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, what?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can fix that. I mean,
Yeah, so that's like one of the major themes of the show. Now, the U.S., do you see what happened with the economy, the jobs? You know how they told us last month the employment went up?
yeah,
Well, they revised all those numbers.
really.
And so employment didn't really go up in May and June. So the economy stalled.
Not surprised.
Have you noticed that? Have you, in your business, you had to raise prices?
All the time,
Shit
There's more
just
so
gets more
profitable.
expensive.
Yeah, shit just gets more expensive and people freak out about it a little bit, but it's like, damn, what do you do?
I don't know what we do. I do know that this current trend can't go on. Because, like I said, what are you going to do if you have young kids? Is their college just going to cost $1 million a year? Is that just what the cost of college? I mean, it's not sustainable.
Yeah. No, it's not. I mean, and they're just less people are going to go to college, they're just going to opt for what they can do because, I mean, you're going to end up with a bill that most likely your degree isn't even to get you into a job that can pay for your degree for most people. I mean, unless you're going to a prominent university.
And that's the thing. Like when you're 18, you have to be very careful about which, like when I was growing up, for example, they used to tell us who gives a shit what your major is your freshman year because you can always just do something general and change it, But now that advice is suicidal because why are you going to accumulate debt for a field that you're not going to complete? And even if you did complete, it would be totally worthless. So kids today, you know how they have guidance counselors at high schools to help, you figure out what you want to do ostensibly.
Yep.
Now, even though that's like a meme position for decades, like, everybody joke about the guidance counselor and, how it's like one of those jobs. It's like just like a cush, stupid job. Like it's not really serious. Well, now it's like deadly serious because these kids can make life altering decisions at the age of 18.
That's crazy.
The government guarantees their loans so they can basically borrow an infinite amount. So what if these retards borrow an infinite amount to go into women's studies at Brown University?
Yeah.
What is that? Like that person's just putting themselves in debt for the rest of their life.
Well, and here's the thing, it's one of the only debts that you can't, you can't claim bankruptcy on. You cannot get rid of this student loan debt. It will
Yeah,
never
you
be
you cannot discharge your student loans in either Chapter 7 or Chapter 13 bankruptcy.
exactly. Once you've
Cannot.
got it, it sticks with you for life. It's kind of like a bad disease, it is not going away.
Yeah.
I look at my brother and he went to an art school and I mean, he just racked up, like, I don't know, a couple $100,000 in student loan debt, like real fucking quick. And, he's living with the reality of that right now, like trying to make a living and pay for that. And it's pretty fucking hard.
I mean, no offense to art people, but like to me that's kind of like an avocation, it meaning a hobby that if you're good enough becomes a vocation. Schooling and shit is not good enough to turn your artwork into something that can get you paid.
Well, he's like a graphic designer, industrial designer, right?
Yeah, so what I would do is I would just learn online. There's so much free education you can get online.
Well, that's what I would suggest a lot of people do is they just, I mean,
Yeah, consider if you can do what you can do without an education. I'm all for education though, and having an educated population, but I mean, realistically speaking,
realistically, at
you
this
can't
point,
go
I
in you
don't think
can't go
it's
into
worth for a
debt.
lot of people.
What's
For
that?
most people, realistically, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it unless you're going to go into a profession where you really need that education,
Not cool. Yeah. And it's guaranteed you're going to make a wage from that,
So I guess that's my point is with the trajectory of things, it's like, okay, things are just going to keep on the same trajectory. Houses just keep going up. Tuition costs just keep going up. There's got to be an inflection point. It just can't continue in perpetuity. We can't have 30% increases in the cost of everything every year.
No.
That's just not, you can't have a society like that. This is why men have checked out of society. This is the ultimate reason why it's economic. I would say even a large part of the male-female problems in our society are also economic. Ironically, though, on the female side, this soft girl era shit is not conducive to a good life because chances are you're going to need a dual income household to just even have a fucking house in the suburbs.
Yeah, you are. You're going to have to manage your own. You're going to have to live in a bubble, your own bubble, do your own thing, insulate yourself from this as much as possible. You just got to live way below way below your means.
Yeah, or you just spend all the money you make and
fuck.
Don't live for tomorrow, live for today. So since 2007, births for 1,000 women aged 15 to 44. From 2007, holy shit. It's close to 70% of women 15 to 44 had given birth to one child. What do you think it is in 2020? What do you think it was in 2020?
What was the percentage?
70% in 2007.
In 2007, 70% of women ages
15 to 44 had given birth at least once. By the way, it was the same in 1980 and it was the same in 1990. 1990 was like 72%.
Really?
And then it fell to a low from 1980 to 2007. The lowest was like 64%, and that was in the mid 90s.
All right. What is it now?
In 2007, it was 70% or like 69%. So what would you guess it was in 2020?
2020? Maybe it dropped down to shit. I don't know. I mean, it seems like it stayed fairly in there. Like, let me say 60%.
55.
Dang.
Which is far lower than it was pre 2007.
Yeah.
So the birth rates have plummeted.
Interesting.
The birth rates have plummeted. Have you heard any politician talk about it?
Not really. Not that I can think of. Right.
Trump just passed a law where they're not going to tax Social Security income anymore. And all the boomers are excited about that for good reason. I mean, it got, that's double taxed, right? You pay Social Security taxes.
Yeah.
Ostensibly, it goes into a trust fund. But as I said, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme because all the Social Security money was spent decades ago. So what the boomers paid in while they were working, that money's already spent. So now all the money that goes to pay them comes from younger people working today. So what do we call that? That's called a Ponzi scheme. So if you have birth rates that plummet like that, 4x in the span of less than 2 decades, how the fuck are you going to continue entitlement Ponzi schemes into the future? That is not sustainable because you have boomers living longer than ever. Presumably, Gen Xers will also live probably longer than boomers did. We don't know. Life expectancy has gone down in the U.S. the last couple of years.
I hear influencers talking about it.
Just because of the obesity epidemic.
I don't really hear politicians talking about it, but I do hear influencers like Elon and Andrew Tate.
Yeah, those are guys that have multiple kids by many different women.
Yeah.
Imagine how annoying that is.
Could you imagine?
I don't mean, yeah, I can't imagine. I came very close to having more than one baby mom.
Damn.
On more than
I
one
wouldn't
occasion.
recommend it. I don't know if they're on the right track or not, having multiple babies. But maybe once you reach a certain point, it's like you hit critical mass and you got all these baby mamas.
Well, here's the thing.
Attention. Just doesn't sound like a fun. No, it doesn't sound fun at all.
I think having children's important if you're a man, like especially. It's important for society that we continue our species, and especially since so many people are not reproducing. So on a societal level, it's like an obligation. On an individual level, it's hard to argue that it's ethical to have children in an atmosphere like this. But definitely, so we need more kids. So I think they are on the right track. I'm not sure about having 8 or 9 different baby moms and never seeing the kids, but I'd like to have more kids, for example.
Yeah.
But, I'm still a young man, so.
Well, you are. I'm getting up there. I would love to have another kid or two, but I don't want to go through that again. I mean, I'm just not gonna. Like, it sounds great. I miss having my little kids around.
It's not the
best time of my life.
It's not the kids that are the issue. It's the mothers that are the issue. Well, and the kids cost
right.
Money. Kids cost a fuckload of money. Man.
Yeah, you are cutting out a little bit on us. Your signal is coming in and out quite a bit on us. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
You can hear me?
Yeah, no, I hear myself.
All right. So I took off my lavalier mic.
Oh.
But anyway, yeah, that's the issue. It's so expensive. So people think, how do I have kids? But there's a lot of guys that are cut out from the reproduction market right now that shouldn't be for the good of humanity because they're high intellect people. We have a situation where we have like poor people and people in the third world reproducing like crazy, but intelligent people, particularly white people, are not. So that's not good.
Why is it that, like, if you look at these third world countries, like, they all have all kinds of babies, but you come here in a developed country and, like, yeah, I don't know any I don't really know too many young people with kids.
I know a lot of single moms.
A lot of single moms too.
But you're right.
I hate that. I hate this.
Like nuclear families.
That's the thing, and they want to blame it on men, but it's just, I don't know. I think it's just too easy for women to just pack up and leave the family because it's not the men that are leaving.
Well, yeah, statistically, it's not. Statistically, it's women that file most divorces. Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
You're garbly. You're coming in and out. Your signal sucks. We can't hear you, Doc.
What about now? Is that better?
You're there. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they did. Well, it's women that file most of the divorces, but yeah, we do need more kids. What does an incel do to have kids, though? I guess go through surrogacy.
I guess you could do surrogacy or you could adopt.
Yeah. Well, if you want to pass on your genes, you do surrogacy. So I
Yes.
wonder if that's financially out of reach. I bet there are some MIG towers where that could be an option if they don't mind raising kids or they have enough money for nannies and stuff. I don't think it's ideal for men to raise kids by themselves, though.
No. I mean, how are you going to go to work and support a kid? Like, it's just not, yeah.
That's why I said you need like a nanny or something. It's not ideal.
No, you need a good, healthy, stable woman raising the kids, but where are you going to find that?
Healthy and stable.
No. I know,
Good
that's
luck.
funny.
Good luck. That's going to be hard to find.
Oh, man.
But anyway, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, I'm probably just working on my house, looking for things to do to stay busy.
Sounds good. As soon as I get off, we'll get the AI thing set up and we'll get the Spotify stuff. But if I go do that, you can publish.
I can publish a whole bunch of episodes.
I'll go do that right after this.
Yeah. We'll get a bunch of episodes uploaded. I'll probably head into town to the coffee shop and just put my headphones in and go to work on this.
Sounds good.
I like
Well,
what
hey,
you were
everybody,
talking
thanks.
about in one of your episodes a couple times, how you go just hang out at like a bar. That actually inspired me a little bit because I'm kind of a loner, even though I'm pretty big on social media. Believe it or not, I'm pretty much a loner most of the time. I'm like, what do you call that? Introverted, like
Introverted, yeah.
social anxiety. But I mean, I can be social, but a lot of the times it's just like, and but I think that also has a lot to do with what like young men are facing too. What you were talking about. Like, I talked to my son about this the other day. If you don't, do you have to go?
No, go keep going.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to you for a minute while I have to put the headset down.
So, like, my son's a great example, right? Like, he's 22, he'll be 23 here in August, okay? I mean, he's never had like a real girlfriend, like a actual steady girlfriend where they're like seeing each other. I mean, he's had some hookups, he's been with women, right? But that's not what he wants. He wants to meet someone like as a girlfriend, a friend. And I mean, we're walking around town and there's a lot of pretty girls around it. But the thing he says is like, yeah, they're everywhere, but none of them want anything to do with me. Like, he's just like frustrated. And I see it with other young men too. They're all just frustrated as fuck. Cause like these men won't, or these girls won't even look at them. And he's 6 foot tall. Like, he looks fucking good. Like, he's a good looking kid. And like, but I look around and I see, like, when he's not looking, I see these girls checking him out. Right. I think it's just because he doesn't know how to talk to them. Right. And because he's awkward, or maybe, he just doesn't know what to say or do. But it is a thing for these young men. They're just like super, super frustrated. They can't meet women, or the women just don't look their way. Like, they're just not giving these guys the time of day unless they're like 6'5". And
So with your kid, he doesn't know what to say.
well, I think he's a little bit awkward with girls still. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean by that? Explain. Like, give me an example.
An example? Well, let me just say, like, so if a cute girl were to start talking to him, which, totally in his range, right? He'd probably get nervous, start talking nervously instead of just like talking to each other like we're talking. Something inside of him changes and he gets like a little bit of nervous awkwardness, right? So he's not going to be himself. And I think that's just what's killing him.
Okay. So he just doesn't know what to say, pretty much.
Yeah, doesn't know what to say. Confidence, is like the butterflies come in and just kind of fucks it all up. But like, I mean, he's good enough looking. I mean, he's like 6 foot tall. He looks fucking great.
Honestly, what you should do, if the best thing to say to a chick is just, "Hey, can I meet you real quick?"
Hey, can I meet you real quick?
Yeah. Can I meet you real quick? 1 second. Can I meet you real quick? And you say real quick because then if it's a stranger, it's kind of like giving them what's called a false time constraint. Like it'll be really quick because they don't know if you're selling them something. You're a stranger, so they don't know what the nature of your interaction is going to be. But that's the John Anthony opener. So if you search a guy named John Anthony, that's the advice he gives. Hey, can I meet you real quick? It works really good.
John Anthony.
Or if you're in Mexico, you just say, hola, guapísima. ¿Cómo estás?
Interesting. Okay. I've never heard of John Anthony, but who is he? And
that's what you should do. Now, the whole attitude you should have when you talk to women on the street is just a very unserious and almost lean into being, you don't have to be obnoxious and say dumb shit, but just not have a filter.
Right.
So you just say, hey, can I talk to you real quick? Like I can do this like an expert. If I have like 2 beers, I'll talk to any chick anywhere. It does not matter whether she speaks English, whether she doesn't speak English. That's why you have to learn how to approach women as a guy, because it's like a superpower. Because 99% of men will never do it. So if you do it, all you got to do is learn how to get rejected. Because once you don't care about rejection, it just doesn't matter. You could go up to her and be like, hey, can I meet you real quick? She'd be like, okay. Like, who the fuck are you? Oh, I just saw you over there. I thought you looked really pretty. I just wanted to meet you real quick. Blah, blah, blah. What's your name? And then they could be like, well, fuck off. You're super ugly. And I can't believe that you would talk to me. And then if you internalize that, sure, it's going to be a horrible experience, but you don't internalize it. It's just part of life and you move on. And the power move is just going right to her friend sitting right behind her. You wouldn't believe how many times that actually works, by the way, is you get blown out by the first friend and then the chick sitting next to her is very receptive to you. That happens a lot. And I think the reason that it happens is because the second chick sees that you don't give a fuck at all. And that's just like supremely attractive. Because it's like, oh man, he's not humiliated by the fact he just got blown out.
Right.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, for your son and other guys, the very act of just doing it is in and of itself a power move, because most guys don't do it. Dude, chicks today will go out looking for guys to talk to them. You know what I would honestly do if I was in my early 20s, honestly? Is this is the best era to do it, is fuck the girls your age. They're all on boats or with like older guys like me. So those chicks are out of reach for you, probably. Go for the old cougars. Because the cougars,
yeah.
the cougars are starved for dick, man. They are, and they're looking for younger dudes because, again, they like guys that are stupid and they can manipulate. So just be that guy. Just be that young, impressionable guy. You could, if you even try to attempt to talk to an older chick, like they love that shit. They love that shit. They love.
You're not wrong.
So that's the funny thing, that's the really funny thing. Like, if I talk to women my own age, I get mixed receptions sometimes, but almost universally, the women my age who are single, like, they love younger guys.
Yep.
No, they love younger guys, they'll even approach younger guys on their own. I even see younger girls do this too, which is weird. But again, that's this shift where there's no clear gender roles. So now women can be the aggressor or the approacher. So we see that too.
You see younger girls doing what?
Just approaching guys.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why I said the other day, someone asked me, hey, my wife got mad because a woman approached me at the mall and gave me her phone number and I didn't refuse. Like, she just wrote it down, handed it to me. And I'm like, well, dude, your wife shouldn't be mad at you. You have an obligation. Every man who gets approached by a woman in 2025 has an obligation to accept that woman's approach, regardless of whether you have a girlfriend, a wife, or whatever. If she wants your number, give her your number. If she wants to give you her number, you take her number and you text her or whatever. You got to make the experience of women approaching men like a positive experience. So like if your chick gets mad at you, like, hey, why'd you let that girl give you her phone number? You just say like, listen, like, imagine it was you. Like, if I give this girl a bad experience approaching, like if I blow her out, like, and make her feel like shit, then she's not going to approach any guy ever again. This could potentially like make her a single cat lady for the rest of her life. So I have an obligation to take this bitch's number and to text her just on behalf of all the other men who she may not have approached if I, said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a girlfriend." So that's the thing is men have an obligation to let women approach them.
It's great.
Yeah. And it's logical though, right? Because you see all these TikToks, these women, they try to approach guys and the guys are like rude and they say no or whatever. And that's why the clips go viral because like what girl ever gets rejected? But to me, don't reject the chicks. Like, even if you have a girlfriend, you gotta take one for the team. So.
No, that's cool. I don't know if you're a married man, how that's going to work out, but.
Yeah. And I just want to preface all that. I am divorced. So, take my relationship advice.
If you're married, I mean,
with a
I
grain of salt.
don't know that I would suggest that, but I would maybe respectfully decline, be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm married." Yeah, but thanks anyways.
I wouldn't do that. I would just be like, "Yeah, of course, you're very beautiful.
You'd
I'll
fucking
take your
put
phone
that
number."
thing in your pocket for later. I know you would.
Well, no, I wouldn't put it in my pocket. I would put it in my phone.
Exactly. I know you too well, man. I already know you too well.
I would put it in my phone. You have to listen. If women want to take the initiative in today's society, I think we should encourage that.
No, I think it's great.
Who am I, just because I'm married or I have a girlfriend, who am I to ruin a woman's perception of cold approach? Like, do I really have the right to do that as a man with a girlfriend or with a wife? I mean, my responsibility is to society. So I have to let her approach me. I have to let her give me her phone number. I have to text her. Like, just because I have a girlfriend doesn't mean I have the right to make her approach experience bad, because then she's not going to want to approach any other man. So
what
it's
if
going to
she's
ruin
on the heavy side?
So by me refusing, I'm doing a disservice to men and therefore to all of humanity. So if your chick has a problem with another girl giving you her phone number, I mean, just tell her it like that. Like, we're just trying to protect women's feelings. Ultimately, it's about the women.
Oh, what if she's not somebody you would get with? Let's say she's a bit of a land whale.
Everybody
Give her a shot.
is someone I would get with, depending on how many Dos Equis I've had.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, if it's a bigger girl or a girl that's kind of like, on the uglier side, I still would take it. I still would take it, and I still would, just because, like, listen, you may not be good enough, or you may not be like in my weight class right now, but you might be for like one of my buddies, so maybe I could hook you up.
All girls,
or you might be in my weight class, depending on what other options I got at 2 a.m. on
or depending on how
Saturday.
many Dos Equis you've had. Yes.
After I've had one too many Palomas or whatever. So the situation's very fluid. That's the thing about dating success in 2025. You got to keep things really, really fluid and keep your options open. It's kind of like sales, being good with women. Being good with women requires the same attributes that make you good at sales. You got to be able to talk to strangers. You got to be able to bullshit them. You got to be able to oversell, attributes that you don't have or don't have in as great a quantities as you brag about, and you got to sell the dream. So if you're a good door to door, honestly, what'll make you better with chicks than anything is just do door to door, like magazine sales or some dumb shit like that. Do something where people regularly tell you to fuck off and slam the door in your face, but do it like in person.
Have you done that? Have you done door to door sales?
I have not, but this is what I would do if I was like 18 or something. like if I was 18, the most important attribute I would try to cultivate is a tolerance for rejection. That's what I would cultivate above everything else, is a tolerance for rejection. So I would go to nightclubs just to get rejected. I would force myself to do that. Because after a certain point in time, then you're just immune to it. So you imagine a man that's even average looking who has no fear of rejection. That man will never be alone.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Why do men fear rejection? What is it about? What is it about talking to a chick, random, like stranger woman, who tells you, no, I'm not interested or whatever? What is it about that experience that's so like scary?
Wow. Well, what is it? I mean, what is it about your ego that can't handle that?
I don't know. I'm asking.
You just
Is
don't
it
wanna be
because
your pride? Your
her
ego?
opinion of you is like reality, or what?
I guess. I mean, that's
So if
probably what you're
she
thinking.
rejects you, that means you're just a person deserving of
I
rejection, and
guess so. You're
no
just a
one will like
fucking
you.
big fat piece of shit fucking turd.
Yeah, well, if
Not
you think
really.
about it, that is it.
That is probably what you're thinking, yeah. That's
So
probably
they
most
have
guys do
studies.
internalize it though, bro. Seriously.
Well, I
Most
know
guys
they do.
probably think just like that. This is a good show, by the way.
They have studies where they have shown that young men today, like 70% of them go an entire year without approaching a member of the opposite sex. I mean, just fucking think about that.
Hmm.
That's crazy. That's crazy that guys are like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just once you go to the school of hard knocks and get punched in the face a few times, you just, in the sense of dealing with rejection, like I flirt with the fucking drive-through chicks at McDonald's. Dude, I'm pretty shameless about it, honestly. And I think the shameless aspect of it is really important. Because what's shameful about talking to a woman? That's like the most natural thing you can do,
True.
right?
Right? Well, I think we have to get over the fear of rejection, or like what you said, is it real? Like, so if she rejects you, is that like your reality then? You're just nothing? No.
Yeah, I mean, you can never take rejection personally. Rejection's never personal. It's always about the other person.
And
You know.
I think there is the problem right there, is that it's you take it personally. I know I do.
So here's the thing. I know we had to go, so maybe I'll make this the last story. There's a book, very famous self-help book from like 10, 20 years ago called Learned Helplessness, and it's by a psychologist named Martin Seligman. So learned helplessness is a theory from the 1960s where basically they took dogs, put them in a cage that was two-sided. On one side of the cage, they would shock the floor, and the dogs could like escape to the other side of the cage where they wouldn't get shocked. And so the first group of dogs they did it to, they shocked them on one side, they jumped to the other side. Then they did the experiment again where the dogs would get shocked on both sides of the cage. Okay, so they couldn't escape the shocks, right? So they get shocked on one side, they jump to the other side, they get shocked again. What they found is eventually the dogs stopped, jumping because they couldn't escape the shock, right?
Right.
But then they did it a third time where again they only shocked them on one side of the cage so they could escape again. But after the experience where they get shocked everywhere, most of the dogs just laid down and let themselves get shocked even though they could escape it.
Fuck.
So that's what birthed the idea of learned helplessness. So here's how the book is relevant. So
This is
in the
by
book,
Martin Seligman?
Martin Seligman, I read this shit, it's going on 20 years ago now, but I distinctly remember the part of the book where he discussed a insurance salesman he knew. This guy was like the top life insurance salesman at like Prudential. I don't remember the company, it wasn't Prudential, but some big insurance company. He was like the top earning commissions life insurance salesman. And so Seligman followed around this guy. And the reason he followed around this guy is because, the experiment is what happens when you expose someone to adverse outcomes, like at a high frequency, and then you give them the opportunity to escape those outcomes. In other words, like they have the other side of the cage where they don't get shocked. A lot of people, after experiencing adversity, just become helpless. They develop a state of learned helplessness. Learned because for whatever reason their efforts in the past didn't help solve their problems, so they feel like nothing will solve their problems. So they do nothing. And one of the big triggers for that is rejection, right? So if you're a cold calling life insurance salesman, to be the top salesman, what do you got to do? Well, you have to, it's volume. It's volume. You got to talk to a lot of people and have a lot of people hang up on you. Have a lot of people tell you, this is annoying, don't call again. Have a lot of people interrogate you and, curse at you, whatever. But you got to sell regardless. So what ends up happening is your sales and your success come from volume and getting past the rejection, not internalizing it. So you could have on any given day, maybe you have to call 10 people. Well, if you don't care about being rejected, each of those calls is like, if you get like 5 people in a row that tell you to fuck off, it kind of like makes it like, oh man, now I got to do this with a 6th person. But if it doesn't like sap your energy and your confidence, you could just do that all day long.
Some people are definitely better than others at that.
So that's what you have to avoid is learned helplessness. That was a really influential book. It's crazy. It's crazy how much I remember from that book. But there's a lot of lessons in that, and it's definitely true. And we definitely see that all the time. And there's all these guys, most men today I see like in the clinic, they have problems that are admittedly pretty big, right?
Right.
Some of their personal life issues, I'm like, damn, that's shitty. But in most cases, they're imminently solvable, or at least partially solvable. And so we see this in guys with like very low testosterone levels is they develop this state of learned helplessness and they leave their problems alone. And then they get on testosterone therapy. And then all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they have, chemically, they now have the motivation and the drive to deal with whatever their problems are. It doesn't necessarily make your life just, all of a sudden stress free. It makes you able to cope with the stress and it makes you want to do things about your problems.
I wonder
right?
if that would help me. I find
so you just think about that with relation to women, though, right? That's what most men have become. Just developed a state of learned helplessness when it comes to their sex and dating life. It's like there's no solution. All the women are whores, and I can't approach any of them because I'm scared. Well, first of all, no, not all the women are whores, and you can approach them. You could go do it right now. You could go to your local Walmart and talk to some chick in an aisle.
Right.
You literally could do that. So everything, like I said, is often worse and better than it seems. This is a situation that is like, it's actually quite solvable. You just have to lose the fear of rejection. It's actually harder to do it's easier said than done.
Yeah. Well,
I blabbed there for a while.
That's good. No, this is good stuff. This is great.
Yeah. So I'm going to get that AI set up now. But thanks for listening, everybody. I got to run.
Yep.
And do some things.
If you get that set up, I'll publish a bunch of episodes today on all the major streaming platforms.
Sounds good.
That'll be my goal. So that'll be what I'm doing for the next couple of days. Be working on.
Sounds good. Maybe just label each show by the date too.
Okay, I'll try. little bit confusing and complicated getting in here, but yeah, I'll do what I
Yeah.
can.
Just so people know, what, like, this is the 31st show, so people can listen in the order.
Yeah.
We have a lot of continuing threads and themes, man.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. I don't know why I'm getting feedback through your phone, but
I don't know.
slight echo.
We'll head out. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. All right,
All
brother.
right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Have a great day.
This is the Uncensored Man Radio Show. This show contains adult language and content. Listener discretion is advised.